Welcome to ETH Daily, a daily briefing on the latest in Ethereum. Here's your latest for Wednesday, May 6, 2026. Aave liquidates the attacker's rsETH positions, Centrifuge launches DESPXA on base, and Ethereum validators have consolidated 10 million Ether. All this and more starts right after this message. ETH Daily sponsorships are now open. Reach over 10,000 Ethereum native subscribers every weekday. Learn more at ethdaily.io/sponsor. Aave has successfully executed a controlled liquidation sequence on rsETH collateral from the April 18th KelpDAO attackers' positions on the lending protocol. Approximately 89,000 rsETH was seized from the attacker across Ethereum mainnet and Arbitrum v3 markets. A temporary Oracle adjustment put the attacker's rsETH positions into a liquidatable state, after which the collateral was seized and swept to a recovery Guardian multisig. The Guardian flag was enabled, payloads executed, and then the flag was disabled, with all configuration changes fully reverted upon completion. No other users were affected by the liquidation process. The recovered rsETH is now being redeemed for underlying ETH through KelpDAO's standard redemption procedure, with the resulting ETH used to clear the deficit across affected Aave markets on Ethereum and Arbitrum. The full restoration of rsETH backing remains in its final stages. Centrifuge launched DESPXA on Base, its tokenized version of the NMOI S&P 500 fund. SPXA is a fund that tracks the S&P 500 index managed by Janice Henderson and benchmarked using the S&P Dow Jones indices. The launch brings tokenized exposure to the S&P 500 on Base, initially available to non-US users, featuring 24/7 settlement. The launch brings tokenized exposure to the S&P 500 to users on Base with 24/7 settlement, initially available to non-US residents. DESPXA is the first product under Centrifuge's DRWA framework, a structure for enabling tokenized real-world assets across DeFi protocols. Coinbase also named Centrifuge as its preferred tokenization infrastructure partner, with Coinbase Ventures making a strategic investment in the real-world assets company. And lastly, Ethereum validators have now consolidated over 10 million ETH using 0x02 withdrawal credentials. Less than 2% of validators now account for approximately 25% of all staked ETH. The consolidation is possible due to max effective balance introduced in Pectra, which increased the maximum effective validator balance from 32 Ether to 2,048 Ether. Max effective balance allows major operations to consolidate thousands of validators, significantly reducing operational overhead. Consolidation also reduces redundant validator operations, including access beacon node instances, peer-to-peer messaging, and BLS signature aggregation, improving infrastructure efficiency and streamlining consensus workloads. Fewer active validator indices enables faster attestation aggregation, which improves finality times on Ethereum. In other news, the Arbitrum DAO vote to allocate 30,000 ETH towards the rsETH recovery reaches quorum, and a Glamsterdam DevNet 2 is now live. This has been a roundup of today's top news stories in Ethereum. You can support this podcast by subscribing and following us at ETH Daily. Also subscribe to our newsletter at ethdaily.io.